Welcome to the Online Success Journey podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 230. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Tiffany Tracey, a serial entrepreneur and a podcaster. She started her online business empire with $50. Hello Tiffany.
Hi, Patience. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I know the clan he is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your online business?
Well, before I started my online business, I actually was a stay-at-home mom. I just had a new baby, and I wanted to stay home and be there for my new baby. Previously, before that, I used to work in the banking field. But as my child got older, I said, okay, I would like to do something, but I don't want to take myself away from home and put the restraint of having to put my kid in long hours of daycare and things like that while I had to go to get a regular job. So that's where I was before I started.
Wow. What is the most dangerous belief an online entrepreneur can have?
For me, it really wasn't. I kind of stay with products that I know that are either household or things that people will buy. I kind of stay away from some products that might be either like controversial or have like hazardous things with them. For example, like over here, hoverboards was a thing for a while, and I just didn't sell any of those because there was issues with those, with the battery packs and things like that. So I kind of stay away from anything that's hazardous or controversial when it comes to my products.
Why do you do what you do?
The reason why is I really like being able to make my own schedule. I like that I can wake up in the morning, take care of my family, let everyone go to where they need to go to for the day. I can work on something that provides income for our household, but I don't have to do it all day. And then when everyone comes back home, I'm back to being mom, and I can still contribute to my household financially as well as being the mother that I like to be.
Let's put man aside. How do you know you are successful?
I knew I was successful when I was actually able to pay the bills in the house. And I said, oh my goodness, I was able to say to my husband, I'm making enough money that I can actually contribute. And when those direct deposits start to hit, and actually my husband came to me one morning and said, what's this money in our bank account? And I said, oh, that's the Amazon money. And he was like, oh, so this is going well. I was like, I guess so. And that's when since he noticed, like, where's this money coming from? It was more of okay, so I must be doing this right because we were getting a nice direct deposit, and he's like, hey, where's this money coming from? He knew I was doing it, and I told him, like you said before, I only started with $50, and probably from that time period of the $50, I would say it was less than 2 months later when that conversation happened, and I was getting like a direct deposit of like $900.
Wow. So it took you only 2 months to really start getting your money worth.
Yes.
Wow.
It really did. What I did in the beginning, every cent I made, I put back into the business. So I didn't take anything for myself. And once I started doing that, and I continued to do that, my direct deposits that I was getting start getting bigger and bigger. So I would tell anyone, just continue with the process if that's, if you want to do online selling, and continue to invest in your business by just taking everything that you make and put it back into the company. Now I am able to like kind of take um, like a salary from it, which is very nice, and it also helps us for our taxes as well, to have a business. So I I just kept putting every penny that I made into the business, and really it grew from there. So now I'm doing, I would say, probably 4 to 5 times that every month.
How long did it take you to pay yourself?
I started now I started paying myself a year into it. I could have paid myself probably 6 to 8 months into it, but I wanted to continue to put money into the business. So I pay myself every month now, and the way that I do it is I look at it as, because I'm a home business. As far as taxes are concerned, when you have a business and it's at home, you can use the funds from the business to pay your household bills. So that's how I look at it, as myself paying myself, and then I also give myself a little, pay myself a salary every month.
Can anyone really do this business of yours? Or is it you have to go there and read and it will take you a long time? How is it difficult? How is it easy to get this business?
If a person is working like a regular 9 to 5 job, they could still do this. They would just have to put, time in after hours of their job. I did have, time during the day to do this. After I figured out the systems, honestly, I probably work on the online selling part of the business, where it's like getting inventory maybe 2 to 3 days a week. And that's probably only working a couple hours during that day. Of course, the business works every day because we always have to deal with shipping and things like that. But as far as looking for inventory and things like that, I have things in place now that I don't have to leave my house. I have different suppliers as well as wholesalers that I work with. So um, I kind of get the inventory either sent to me or sent into Amazon, whichever place I'm going to sell it at. And I've made a lot of relationships with my suppliers.
What have you learned from business as a whole?
Whew. The first thing I tell everyone in this business is to not prejudge. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes a person might see a product and go, no one's going to buy that. And you just have no idea of how many times I've seen a product and I've either made that statement to myself, but maybe still got it. And the item would be the first thing to sell. And I would be like, oh, well, I need to stop listening to myself and don't prejudge. Uh, that would be my first thing that I would tell anybody with dealing with online selling. Uh, we have a big world, and you just never know what a person could be into. So I don't prejudge any of my products. If I see something and it looks interesting, I will I will go ahead and buy it to resell it.
How can you tell that this product is going to sell? Because now this is you just see the product and you have to put it there. But how are you sure that it's going to sell? How long? How do you do testing? Do you test these
Yeah.
products? Okay.
Oh
How long
yeah.
and how long do you do it? Tell us 3
Sure.
steps that you take to test the products.
Sure. So when I'm looking, let's say if I happen to sell on Amazon, I Amazon has a great app that you can use. That's part of the service of selling on their service. I will look up the item, take a look at how much I make, of course, and then I will take a look at how often that item sells. And there's also a nice thing that Amazon provides, which is called the bestseller rating, which is basically a number in that category. And that kind of gives you an idea of how often that product sells. So if the number is lower, that means it sells a lot. If the number is higher, it doesn't sell as often. So I use that as a benchmark to know how long something might take to sell. If I'm looking something up on eBay, eBay is where I would normally sell items that were previously owned, uh, or have like either a small defect or something like that. I can look on eBay and see if an item like that, or if that particular item sold recently and how much it sold, just by looking it up on the eBay app. And I can see the last time it was sold, how much it was sold for. I can see how long it took for it to sell. And that's what I use to gauge how long something might take to sell.
You said if an item is got a raw rate that is selling well, how do you beat into your competitor?
Well, I kind of look at it probably a little bit different than other people. Some people like to do as I like to call, the race to the bottom, where if another seller comes on, or if they're coming onto a listing, they will automatically drop the price so they can sell their item. I really don't do that. I keep the price the same, because that to me is the market price. So Amazon's system, the way that it's set up, is they're going to choose, whoever's in what they call the buy box. So I've never not had an issue with being in the buy box, because I have good metrics. So I might even have my item priced slightly higher, but because I'm eligible for the buy box, Amazon will allow it to be sold. So I don't play around with those games of let me lower the price, or play around with repricers like some people do. I just kind of let the item sit there for a little bit, and let it and let the market decide what's going to happen. If an item happens to be sitting just a little bit too long for my liking, which is normally anywhere between 6 months to a year, I may lower the price if I'm trying to liquidate my inventory, so that I can at least get my money back and put that into other products. But I kind of let things happen organically, and I don't really do a lot of extra with it.
Wow. 6 months to a year. That's a long waiting. You have to be patient.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I've learned that if there's a demand for something, people will buy it. So if there's something that sits for a while, it may be because other sellers are playing around with the price, and so they kind of have like a race to the bottom. And so sometimes if I just wait that out, let them sell out of all of their inventory, then I can get the price that I originally wanted when their inventory is gone.
Do you have a mentor or a coach in your business?
Actually, I do not. I kind of stumbled upon this, and I joined some like Facebook groups and like LinkedIn groups to hear what other people were saying. And I just started, like you said, with $50, just to kind of see how it worked, to make sure that it was real. And I just kind of went from there. I do have, I have a financial background, so the business side of it, I completely understand. I haven't actually had a mentor or a coach. I've just been learning while I did it, and that's the reason why I started to help people do it as well, because I like people to understand that you don't have to have a lot of money to get started. Of course, you're going to have to put some time in, some work, and some effort into it, but you don't have to have a lot of money to get started.
What is one thing that has contributed to your success?
I really would say the support of my family has been very great. I When I first told some people this is what I was doing, they really didn't understand, but they didn't discourage it. My husband has been my biggest supporter in all of this because he saw it from day one of me telling him, I'm going to take this $50 and see how this works. And then saw it 2 months later, we're getting, close to $1,000 in our bank account, which for us was very good. That extra $1,000, uh, that was very helpful. So he's been my main supporter. He has been very helpful with picking items up for me. He helps with the shipping at nighttime. So having him be my support staff has been very helpful to us.
Wow. What is one thing no one knows about you?
Whew. I think people, if they know me, they think that I'm very outgoing because I am sociable and I am happy with talking. But really, I am more introverted than most people would think. Uh, Especially alone, I could be alone with myself and get so many things done because I will be focused and I would be happy to not talk at all. Um, it's so funny because my house during the day when no one else is here is super duper quiet and I get so much work done. And it's funny, I will talk to other people in the business and they're like, how do you stay focused? And I said, I think it's my introvertness. And they're like, I don't see you as an introvert. Like, well, for me, it comes on and off. I know when to be social in settings, but I would prefer the quietness to get everything done.
No wonder you have your own channel and you also co-host another channel. Wow.
Yeah.
How did you do that? How did you start that? Tell us about it.
Well, the other show that I am a co-host on is called Entrepreneur Mommies. I'm a co-host with Nicole Flamer. She's another online seller. I've known her actually for close to all of my life. We go back to grade school together. She also has other businesses like I do as well. And we decided, why don't we just kind of tape our conversations? We're always talking to each other about business and bouncing things off of each other. And we realized, this might be helpful for other people. So we just decided that we were going to tape a show and just talk about things that are business related and go from there. And it's been very well received by our audience.
Wow. Then from there, you started your own channel.
Yes, we started another channel. We also have that as a podcast, so a person can watch us on YouTube on the Entrepreneur Mommies channel, or they can listen to us as a podcast for Entrepreneur Mommies. So we made it that way, so that way it's according to the way that you like to receive your information. Some people just prefer to listen, and some people like to watch. So it gives our audience different ways to discover us.
Okay, you mentioned you have been with your co-host for a long time and you talk about business. What is the most valuable thing Nicole has told you?
Oh, she's been very helpful with me. It's one of the things that her and we always talk about is our life work balance and how we work that out. She's a mother like I am. She's a single mother of 5 children, and obviously her schedule is way more hectic than mine, and she has more businesses than I do. So we always talk about our work-life balance, and she's always said to me, worry about your household. The business is always there. If you put the systems in place, you don't have to worry about the business, but you need to tend to your household. And I've always listened to that, and I liked how she put that to me. So I have adopted that. So I make sure that I am visible at home and everyone is here. Of course, there are times when I might have to work on something and everyone is here, but I make sure that I am present and I am part of the family while I am here.
Wow. What is the most valuable thing you have ever given away?
I think one of the valuable things that we give away, and this is just in general with what we do on our Entrepreneur Mommy show, we actually spotlight small businesses and nonprofit organizations. We don't charge for that service. We kind of look at it as a way of helping our business community as well as our nonprofit community. So we give them a space to talk about either their business or their mission statement, and we let them be part of our audience and to help them put the word out either about their business or their nonprofit organization.
Okay, let's talk about your business. Tell us more about it.
Well, our online business, which everyone knows as my Resale Queen moniker, I do several things actually. So with an online business, if you're going to resell products, physical products, because some people do drop shipping, that's not something that I do. I like to at least know that my products are coming, know how my products look. I like to touch them, make sure that they are in a that they come the way that I would want them to be received by my customers. Um, so you always have like retail arbitrage, which is basically going out to a store, buying items at a lower price, and reselling them online. That's how I started. But then as you start putting more time, you realize, okay, there's other methods of getting uh, product other than driving out to a store. So you can become a wholesaler. So you contact a wholesaling company or you contact a company and tell them you want to buy wholesale. And that does require a little bit more upfront money. And then you can resell the item through your channels. And you just have to, go through their process to get approved for that. And then the other way is private labeling. For me, private labeling has been in my opinion, the best way to make money off of Amazon. Uh, there are things in place where you do have to pay, for your item. So you are going to have to pay, put some money up front for it, get the items shipped, labeled, and sent out to Amazon. But it's a product that is yours and no one else's. So
when you say private labeling, do you mean rebranding products?
Yes. So what you're doing is contacting the manufacturer, and the manufacturer will say, we make these type of products, and you can see what they have, and you're able to kind of skip the middleman and just buy directly from the manufacturer, put your label on it, and then send that out to Amazon. And that is a lot cheaper than what people think. Now, even though it's a lot cheaper, you do have to have somebody up front because you can't just buy like 10. You may have to buy like 1,000 of them. But if they're less than $1 a piece, that's not that bad.
Thank you for telling us. Okay, you brand your products and resell them. Okay.
I'd like to let anyone know that is interested in learning about reselling. Feel free to go to my YouTube channel. I drop at least one video a week. I try to do two, but because of my schedule, I do commit to dropping one a week. I also have a free ebook that I give out to anyone. It is completely free, and the name of the book is What the Hell Do I Sell on eBay? And it's for anyone that is just starting out. And I want people to know you don't have to have a lot of money to get started. So I go through and tell you different categories of where you can get started for either less to nothing or free, and get yourself started on the online selling game.
Okay. If we want to connect with you, how can we contact you?
Sure. I have my website, which is Resell Queen, RESELLQUEEN.com. I can also be reached by email at resellqueen 19320@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook as Resell Queen. I'm on Twitter as Resell Queen. And I believe Instagram, I am Resell Queen 19320.
So, clan, there will be more from Tiffany in a moment. If you are listening on one of the many podcasting platforms rather than my website and you are encouraged by Tiffany's journey, go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for a bonus portion of the interview. The Online Success Journey is a wonderful membership community built for people searching for the path to success. We are one big clan and you can be part of this community for free. Once you have joined the clan, click on part 2 of Tiffany's journey or over 200 plus other journeys that are available and learn how you can find the right path for your own online success journey. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Tiffany.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.